Hey, welcome everybody to KCAA Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5. We serve the entire Inland Empire. Over 5 million people are in our broadcasting neighborhood. We also have over 14 podcasting services to serve you as either a client or as a person who wants to get their word out. Today, I'm excited because I'm going to introduce you to a new host that's coming to KCAA. His name is Bryant.
Cornelius
Bryant. Okay.
That's why I'm new.
Yes, exactly. Cornelius Bryant. And Cornelius is going to be hosting the new show called The E Factor. And you're going to all get to join him in the E Zone once we get the time and the date set up. But that's where we're headed. So, hey, it's great having you, Cornelius.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about the mix-up.
That's all right. That's all right.
You got a first name and a last name.
I do.
And
you'll get to know me.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody else will get to know me, too. Just tune in and you'll see.
Absolutely. You know, one of the great things about Cornelius is he's on a mission. He's got a purpose. And his purpose is really to help people develop the soft skills that are necessary to be successful in life. And you're actually dealing with people who probably get no access to the soft skills training.
Well, that's true. A lot of people don't even know what soft skills are.
So why don't we define soft skills real quick?
Well, soft skills are like the skills in life, like your communication skills, your social skills, all these things when you're interacting with other human beings that teaches you and helps you along in life. Like if you're in a business person, teach you how to dress, how to carry yourself. They teach you all these things that you need to know. Like I even have a class on bathroom etiquette.
Oh my gosh. And then we're also probably going to have one on host etiquette. Well, I'm going to have to take that one. So, so when you talk about etiquette, what do you mean by etiquette? Because everybody envisions etiquette as like a foodie thing, right?
Right. That's it. When you think about etiquette, people first thing they think is about, oh, I'm going to sit down here and learn how to eat these little fancy meals with my pinkies poked out. But it's not that. Etiquette is just manners. You know, back when we were younger, they used to call it home training. So that's what etiquette is, just manners, teaching people how to act and how to respect each other and how to interact with each other.
So you've actually focused on a group of young people that haven't really gotten that kind of training, right?
Right, you know, because I do a lot of work in the juvenile systems and with young people, you know, even like high schoolers. But people say, well, if I'm grown, I don't need to worry about these or take these classes because I'm already grown. But no, these classes benefit everybody, but especially young because you're still in your formidable years, or we call them the training years. So this is what you do. You learn as you grow older in order to be a more successful person. And not only that, to get along with others better. So all these things is what add up to what you call a productive human being. Not necessarily high class. There's a difference between being high class and productive. So to be productive, it teaches you how to interact, especially like with social media and all these things. People are so focused on social media and looking at the people on social media, you forget about your life. So you look at your life, you think, oh man, my life is a drag. You know, because
exactly.
You're so busy following other people. But we teach these social skills and all these things as important that you can really respect yourself.
So one of the things I find interesting after studying your program is it really addresses the issue of juvenile recidivism. A lot of kids, they learn kind of in the juvenile system bad behavior.
Right.
And when they come back out of the juvenile system, they really don't know how to function in what we call the real world. Wouldn't you find that to be true?
That is true. But, a lot of times that's why they're in the juvenile system, because they don't know how to function. They've never been taught the proper way to function. So if you live in, for example, if you live in an area and everybody's doing a particular thing, not only do you do it, but to you that's normal. So all you're doing is you're just doing what you are programmed to do. And so if everybody smokes or does this, you do it too. So once you get into the system, now you're in there with other people who do the same thing and other things too. So once you come out of the system, what do? Now you need to learn how to be able to function in a different manner in order not to keep going back into not only the juvenile system, but also the prison system as you get older. And it's hard to change unless a lot of times you have to change your environment.
And that's really the key. So your program actually addresses juvenile delinquency and also the potential for going to prison, and reduce the potential for an individual to end up in the prison system.
Correct.
And that is very valuable, especially now. I mean, the behaviors that people are saying acceptable are just not acceptable. And that's why we have a lot of violence.
That's right. But look, if you look at what's on TV, even if you look at our leaders now, our government leaders, look at their behavior.
Oh, a lot of them need to take your class.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now.
This is what is seen. So if you see this over and over again, this becomes what you consider normal behavior.
Right.
Or if you want to reach a certain goal or a certain level in life, this behavior becomes acceptable.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm really excited about is you're launching an Indiegogo campaign to raise funds to be able to perfect the model that you put together. You already have a working model.
Yes.
And you want to take that working model all throughout California.
Throughout California, and actually throughout the United States. Because as I teach people and I train people, they can go back to different places wherever they're from, that they can train the people in their local area. So this becomes spread.
So you're going to teach the teachers.
Correct.
And that's awesome. So you actually maximize the return on investment for any community that puts some money into the program.
That's correct, because if you think about it, how much does it cost to house someone in a juvenile facility? How much does it cost to house someone in prison? Look at the cost of that per day. As if you get these programs out here and people take advantage of them and learn and do what the program teaches, now you don't need all those facilities for that. And now you have this person who's out there not only working, taking care of themselves, but it's making the community better.
Well, and that's interesting what you brought up, because I think in California they said somewhere between $35,000 and $75,000 a year is the cost of incarceration for one individual. So if your program only changed the world for one individual, it's paid for itself.
Correct.
And that is the scary part about it. So how many kids do you typically teach in a class?
Well, I like to do class. I like to keep it around 15 to 20 max. Because if you get any classes bigger than that, what happens is it's hard to teach the class and hard for people to focus. Because a lot of times what happens is the bigger the class, the more personalities you have.
Right. And dispersion of information, and people can hide. And I guess you have some kids that probably have to take your class because it's a requirement.
Right, because it's mandatory. But I always tell them, look, if you have to be in here, take advantage. Don't waste your time. Learn from it and use it to your advantage. And most of them do. They start off because, especially, like the young men, they start off and, you have this attitude. You have to be cool and stuff. And so the first thing I always start off teaching is communication skills, because I think that's the most important of all, because everything revolves around that. It's like, how do I talk to you or get you to talk to me in a civil manner? And then once you get past that, it's like a lot of people open up. And so I like that first, communication skills. I think that's one of the very most important one.
So as you're listening, think about this for a second. Every dollar you're going to donate to his Indiegogo campaign actually gets doubled by money that's going to come from the state, and the amount of savings in your community is going to be incredible. So one of the reasons why I have you on the show is I want people to understand that they have a commitment to these kids. And that commitment can be as small as $5 at, I think, is the smallest amount on your Indiegogo campaign, all the way up to, $10,000 or whatever they want to contribute. And in return, they're creating great citizens.
Yes, they are.
And go ahead.
And also, if you do that, the community's safer for you, so everybody benefits from it.
And that's another important part, is that they don't understand, by not supporting a program like yours, they're actually putting themselves in harm's way. So now I understand the last thing that we need to talk about is you're going to launch a campaign to go to local schools and catch them before they become involved in, in the criminal justice system or whatever. I mean, going to local high schools and junior high schools to teach about communication skills and how to act to be successful.
Correct. Well, actually, statistics find out usually once they get between, like, say, 10 and 13, they're already set on the path where they go. A lot of people don't realize that what people do, they take the justice system, they take from a certain area, they look at test scores and stuff like that. And that determines how many prisons or police stations they need to have in this particular area, because they're doing a projection on with these type of scores and stuff, how the kids are going to turn out later in life as they go through high school and become adults.
Oh, my God, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
So we really need to get in the schools early.
Yes, we do.
Maybe even elementary school.
Yes, even like with the drug programs, the earlier you start, the better you're off.
Absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, this has been exciting. You're going to be launching an Indiegogo campaign. We're going to try to raise $1 million, okay? That's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to raise $1 million, and the reason is we've got to solve this problem. And if we don't solve it, then it's only going to get worse. Haven't you seen it be getting worse?
Yes, but the thing people don't understand is that you pay for the system. Your taxes go to pay for to fund all these different facilities and all these things like this. So you're paying for it either directly or indirectly, but you're still paying.
It's exactly right. It's like the air conditioner guy says, if you don't have me come out and check your air conditioner and fix it before the summertime, you're going to pay big money when it breaks down in July and August.
Right. So, the cost only gets greater.
Exactly. So how can they contact you to start the ball rolling, maybe to bring it to a school PTA or to a local church? So how can they get a hold of you?
They can reach me at area code 951-238-4720, or you can email me at Cornelius at therenaissanceman.es.com.
Wow. And so what was that phone number again? I'm a little old, so
951-238-4720.
And then the last time?
951-238-4720.
It's great. And we're really happy to have Cornelius Bryant coming to KCAA, the E Factor. Join him in the E Zone and stay tuned.